Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Blur and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the shock site / shock video Iceberg. Now before we begin, I'd just like to say that only 7% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you enjoy my content, dropping a sub is greatly appreciated. But anyways, let's get into the video. So starting off we have the sky. Relaxing car drive. Starting off, this refers to the iconic yet infamous bait and switch YouTube video uploaded in 2006 titled Relaxing Car Drive. The video starts off with the car driving across a road in a beautiful grassy forest with relaxing flute music playing. Around 15 seconds in, a screamer of a man wearing zombie makeup pops up on the screen, scaring the unsuspecting viewer. I remember accidentally watching this video with my mum when I was around 7 years old, and I still remember how scared we both got. Scary Maze Game. The Scary Maze game, also known as The Maze, is the first internet screamer that really got big and inspired others. I'm sure you all know how it goes, but essentially you navigate your cursor through a maze-like path, avoiding any walls, and once you make it to the red square, you advance to the next level. The third level's path is super thin, making the player concentrate extra hard, and then, once you're about to get to the end, you're met with the infamous Exorcist Screamer. The game has been copy and pasted all over the internet, and there are hundreds of reaction videos to it all over YouTube, so I'm sure that all of you know what I'm talking about. anne.jpg. akk.li/pics/anne.jpg was a screamer link that's supposed to mislead the user into thinking it was a photo of a girl, hence the name anne.jpg. When clicked, you'd be led to the Jeff the Killer screamer flashing before your eyes, along with an extremely loud and distorted noise. 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Now, 2 Girls 1 Cup is probably the most infamous video on the entire internet for good reason. It's a 1 minute long NSFW video in which 2 girls shit into a cup, eat the shit out of the cup, vomit it back into the cup, and then eat it again. It's very, very disgusting, which is probably why it got so much attention. The video had gained so much traction that in 2007, President George W. Bush's administration labeled it as obscene and pressed charges against the creator. The tip. Blue Waffle. Blue Waffle is a shock site based on the fictional STD known as Blue Waffle. Once you enter it, you're greeted with a disgusting image of a woman's genitals that have been infected with the disease. There's also a male version of this website, I guess you could say. It's called specialfriedrice.net, so if you're into that as well, you can go check that out. But yeah, moving on. Goatsy.cx. Now, Goatsy.cx is pretty much the oldest shock site on the internet, being registered back in 1999, and quickly becoming a notorious household name basically overnight. When visited, the user is greeted with a flattering image of a man named Kirk Johnson sticking his fingers into his arsehole and stretching it out, showing his anal cavity to the world. Now, obviously I had to blur that, but I'm pretty sure you have a good representation of what the website was, and if you're really so curious, then just Google it for yourself. Fortniteburger.net. Fortniteburger.net is one of the more harmless entries on this iceberg, and it's really more of a meme than an actual shock site. When entered, you're greeted by a welcoming Rule 34 image of Disney's Wreck-It Ralph, with his pants down and genitals out. The site quickly blew up after being created in 2019, and in 2020, in light of the current pandemic, the photo was changed to include Ralph wearing a mask. Now unfortunately, the site was shut down in late 2021, and it's unlikely that it'll ever be back up, so yeah, rest in peace, Fortniteburger.net. Shallow Waters. Agore.io. Now this one hits really close to home as it was probably the first thing on the internet that really caused me trauma as a kid, but essentially the site is meant to trick users who misspelled the game agar.io or others like me who thought it was a private / modded server for it, as those used to be really popular. Basically, when you went to the site, you'd be greeted with the same Jeff the Killer screamer from anne.jpg, and when you tried to close the tab, you'd be greeted with a pop-up that said, "Are you scared bro lol," in order to make it harder for the kids like me who just shit their pants to close the browser. I was only around 8 years old when I fell victim to this site, and I kid you not, I could not sleep alone for around 6 months after it. 1 Lunatic, 1 Icepick. 1 Lunatic, 1 Icepick is a 2012 snuff film in which then 30-year-old Luca Magnotta murders his boyfriend Lin Jun with an ice pick and a kitchen knife. The video is obviously extremely graphic, with Magnotta cutting his limbs off as well as his head, and even feeding parts of his body to a puppy. Now luckily Magnotta was arrested shortly after the video surfaced, with the Canadian government declaring a nationwide manhunt on him. 1 Guy, 1 Jar. 1 Guy, 1 Jar, also known as Jar Squatter, is a video in which a Russian man slides a glass jar into his rear end, to which it shatters and leaves a bloody mess all over the ground. The man in the video is Alexei Tartarov, who's also responsible for the One Guy One Screwdriver video, which we'll discuss later on. Two Guys One Horse. Mr. Hands, aka Two Guys One Horse, is a video depicting two men named Kenneth Pinion and James Tate, who for some horrific reason decide to record themselves having sex with horses, being on the receiving end. Now obviously this didn't go too well for the men, and Kenneth Pinion had his colon ruptured and shortly died after the incident. So yeah lads, next time you're thinking of having sex with a horse, just remember what happened to Kenneth Pinion. The Base. FindMinecraft.com. Now, not much can really be said about this one, as it's just another Jeff the Killer link that no longer works, but fun fact, DanTDM actually fell for this in one of his videos, and I'll play a clip of that right now.
This link. Let's try it. Okay, here we go. FindMinecraft.com. Oh, jeez! Stop!
Yeah, that was definitely the fakest reaction ever, I'm not gonna lie. 4 Girls Fingerpaint. Now, this video is very similar to Two Girls One Cup, being created by the same people, and it basically just features 4 girls instead of 2, and fingers instead of a cup. Now, I'm sure that you can imagine what goes on in the video, and yeah, it's very disgusting and arguably worse than its predecessor. One Guy, One Screwdriver. Now, this video features the same guy from One Man, One Jar, Alexei Tartarov, this time sticking a screwdriver inside of his urethra, pulling it out to reveal blood spurting out everywhere. It is disgusting and definitely a lot worse than Jar Squatter, at least in my opinion, and if you're a guy especially, I strongly do not advise that you look this video up. So now we have the deep waters. Dance.swf. Now, this one's more of a funny one, but dance.swf is a flash animation that circulated throughout image boards on the internet in 2002. The animation had 2 stickmen dancing to the Hamster Dance song, when all of a sudden the pink background that they're on pans out, revealing that they were actually dancing inside of the goatee guy's asshole. Now, obviously I can't show the animation, but I'll play a censored version for you guys. Kekma.net. Kekma.net is a bait and switch site in which when entered brings the user to an adult humor warning. When the warning is dismissed, the site automatically goes into full screen mode and shows the One Guy One Screwdriver video, as well as a gif of a dog being skinned alive, which flashes the colors inverted, probably in an attempt to give an epileptic person a seizure. Along with all this, an extremely loud screaming noise is made in order to hurt your ears, and overall the site is extremely disturbing and definitely takes the whole screamer thing way too far. So now we're moving on to the bottom of the iceberg. 3 Guys One Hammer. 3 Guys One Hammer is a Ukrainian snuff film which depicts 2 mentally deranged teenagers murdering a helpless 48-year-old man with a hammer, while their friend basically vlogs everything that happens. The 2 men who directly participated in the murder were each given life sentences, and unfortunately the cameraman was only given a 9-year prison sentence. Porkspin.com. Now, this site was similar to Meatspin with the same penis spinning antics going on, however this time used a malicious script causing the user's browser to spin uncontrollably around their desktop, making it much harder for the user to leave. WomensAlliance.xyz. Now, this one is very similar to Kekma, showing a similar 18+ warning before the user can enter it, this time stating that it depicts stories of female empowerment that may be offensive or upsetting to sensitive users. Once the warning is dismissed, horrific videos of women being tortured are shown, as well as photos of severe injuries and illnesses. Chomp.avi. Chomp.avi, or Do Not Watch, is a video that frankly you just shouldn't watch. It starts off with this green, creepy looking text reading chomp, and then fades into a horrific video in which a man is eating all types of various bodily fluids coming out of a transgender woman's body, including a bunch of diarrhea. Some comments on the Screamer wiki page describe it as nightmare fuel, and multiple people have said that it makes Two Girls One Cup look innocent. Now, this one got me really curious, so I watched it with my friend and he literally threw up, so yeah, I can confirm that it is extremely disgusting. The Abyss. Spankwire's one of the scariest videos out there. Now, this was a video that was uploaded to a pornographic site called Spankwire, and the video is just a compilation of people cutting off, cutting open, skinning, and even blowing up their penises. It isn't really scary, more just completely disgusting and very gruesome. It's quite similar to the BME Pain Olympics. Rickrolling.com. Rickrolling.com was another site similar to Porkspin, but instead of showing a spinning penis, it would instead play a rickroll, as well as creating dozens of pop-ups on your computer. If you tried to close down the site, it would open a bunch of gory and pornographic images, so the only way to leave was by going through Task Manager or turning off your entire PC. One Girl 99 Stomps. Now, this is a less graphic but more sad video showing a 15-year-old girl from Russia being mugged, attacked, and then stomped to death by a man outside of an elevator. The video itself is in super low quality, so it makes it hard to see what's happening, but the story behind it is what makes it so horrible. The man in the video was a drug addict and a thief, and unfortunately he only received 15 years in prison and is on track to be released in 2022. Now finally we're moving on to the dark abyss. Chechnya. Chechnya is a horrifying, extremely gruesome video of a Russian soldier being beheaded with a blade, with arguably the worst part of the video being the sound. As the knife is lunged into his throat, you can hear the air escaping his body through his sliced neck as the blood starts rushing through, literally sounding like a whoopee cushion. All while the guy is still alive. The video is only 15 seconds long, but is clearly cut to include less of the actual beheading and more of the aftermath. According to multiple sources, including the YouTuber Wang, there was a full 5-minute version of the video uploaded to LiveLeak that has since been lost to time. If you want to learn more about it, check out Wang's video on it after this, which I'll link in the description. I'mHappy.gif. I'mHappy.gif was supposedly a video rather than a GIF, showing this strangely edited face becoming angrier and angrier as the video goes on. It would then scream loud enough to supposedly burst eardrums, and the video would flash extremely gruesome images of rapes, bomb test victims, aborted fetuses, mutilated bodies, and tortured animals. After about 5 minutes of this, the text, "Have a nice day," would appear on the screen. How kind. The viewer's computer would then completely stop working as if their hard drive had been corrupted. The video supposedly originated on 4chan back in 2007, but the only evidence of it actually existing is this image right here, so it's either been lost to time or is simply an urban legend. 6 Girls, 1 Dead Guy. 6 Girls, 1 Dead Guy is a shock video that is pretty much confirmed to be a hoax. The actual video cannot be found anywhere, and only 5 reactions to it exist on YouTube, all uploaded by the user You Are My Sunshine World on the same day back in 2008. The videos all have the exact same music, are in extremely low quality, and start off with the same text. It's obvious that they're just edited reactions of other things, as the people in the video never talk about what they're actually watching. A popular rumor is that the video depicts 6 Asian girls mutilating and having sex with an Asian man's corpse, and proceeding to do disgusting things to it. Apparently the video causes seizures and makes people who watch it suicidal. Now, this one is very obviously fake and was definitely created by this person for views and attention. 3 Orangutans, 1 Blender. Now, this is another video similar to 6 Girls, 1 Dead Guy in the sense that it's most likely fake, however this one has a lot more info about it. The video is supposedly set in a jungle with multiple Indian and South American men walking into a building, taking caged orangutans and stabbing them with knives and machetes. The men then put 3 of them in a massive blender-like machine and turn it on, killing them. The video doesn't end there though. The men then take their bodies out and perform very horrific acts on them that I'm not going to describe. Basically, the description shown on the Screamer Wiki seems very fake, and this myth was definitely just made up to shock and scare people. There are a few reactions to it on YouTube, all from over 10 years ago, but this time not all created by the same person and a lot more real looking. However, it's still obvious that these are fake and the whole thing was just made up, including the audio, which is literally just monkey noises and the sounds of a chainsaw. But anyways guys, that's gonna wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like on it as it really helps me out. And if you want to see more of my videos, subscribe to the channel. So yeah, thank you for watching.